Whether you have a mental illness or not, there is a very real risk that at some point in the course of your life, you may experience thoughts of suicide. A suicide safety plan is a written set of instructions that you can create for yourself as a contingency plan in case you begin to experience thoughts about harming yourself. It will contain a series of gradually escalating steps that you should follow, proceeding from one step to the next until you feel safe. Having a suicide safety plan in place is one method you can use to cope with these overwhelming feelings until they pass. Even if you feel like you don't need this right now, it's far better to have it in your time of need than not. Hey guys, Seeking More here. Before we get into today's video, I just want to ask you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can stay updated with every new video that I release. With that said, let's get straight into today's video. To make your suicide safety plan, you should work together with someone you trust, such as your best friend, a close family member, or your doctor or therapist. It's best to get these people involved now, since you'll most likely need to call on them whenever you decide to execute your plan. Try to create your plan while you are thinking clearly, rather than waiting until you are actively suicidal. Put your suicide safety plan in writing and keep it in a safe place where you can easily find it should the need present itself. You can also save it as a note on your phone, just in case you aren't at home when you need it. Your suicide safety plan should include several steps and should be executed in that exact order. I'll provide an example for each step so that you can make your plan as concise as possible. Step number 1. Find your triggers. The first step in creating your suicide safety plan is to familiarize yourself with the types of situations, images, thoughts, feelings, and behaviors which might come before or accompany suicidal urges for you. List these warning signs so that you can refer back to them when deciding whether to activate your plan or not. Basically, if you know your triggers, it's easier to prevent this plan from ever being needed. For example, when you feel suicidal, maybe you tend to isolate yourself and not take good care of your health. Or maybe your suicidal thoughts are triggered when you're reminded of your childhood abuse. Whatever the case may be, note these down. They'll play a major role in helping you avoid these situations or topics if you can. Step number 2. Find your soothing activities. Create a list of activities which are soothing for you for when you're upset. If you can't think of any examples right now, leave the spot blank, brainstorm a little, and then fill it in later. For example, maybe taking a hot bath is what relaxes you, or maybe it's pumping some iron. Whatever it is, find a few of them and write them down. Step number 3. List your reasons for living. Now I know that this sounds weird, but when you're feeling suicidal, it's very easy to get caught up in the pain you are feeling at that moment and forget about all the positives in your life. Your list will help you to refocus your attention on the reasons to keep going until your suicidal thoughts and feelings pass. For example, if you have kids, you wouldn't want to miss seeing them grow up. Or maybe you've been bitten by the travel bug and you haven't quite seen every inch of this beautiful world yet. Step number 4. Emergency contacts. Next, you need to keep a list of contacts you can talk to if you are unable to distract yourself with the above self-help measures. List their names, phone numbers, and any other contact information that you need, and be sure to have backups in case your first choice or two aren't available. These can include your significant other, your friends, or your relatives. I also want you to create a list of all the mental health professionals available to you, along with their phone numbers, email addresses, and other contact information. This should include crisis or suicide hotlines, your therapist if you have one, and any nearby hospitals. In my description, you'll find a list of suicide hotlines from around the world. Unfortunately, I'm not able to provide a number from every country, so if yours is not listed there, please do a Google search for it. It's truly important. Step number 5. Environment safety. Plan what steps you can take to make your environment safe. This may involve removing or securing any items that you are likely to use to hurt yourself, or going to another location until the urges have passed. It may also mean getting another person involved to help you. For example, when I feel like hurting myself, I'll go to a public place like a mall, restaurant, or library to distract myself. It can't stop you from hurting yourself, but it does make it a whole lot more difficult. If all other steps have failed to keep you feeling safe, go to your nearest hospital emergency room and ask for assistance. Keep the name, address and directions to the hospital listed in your plan for easy access, or save it into your phone's GPS. If you do not feel that you can get to the hospital safely on your own, call 911 or the emergency contact number appropriate for where you live and ask for transport to the hospital. If you begin to experience any of the warning signs of suicide listed in your suicide safety plan, follow the steps that you just outlined for yourself one by one until you feel safe again. An exception would be if you're feeling completely out of control and are strongly thinking of suicide. In that case, it's best to call either a trusted friend who can be with you immediately, 911, or the emergency contact for whatever country you're from. Suicide is scary, so to help us fight against it, we need to arm ourselves with as much information and help as we can get. Don't leave yourself unprepared. If you found this video helpful, please share it with any friends or family members that you think may benefit from it as well. You may just save their life. And if you haven't managed to see a therapist yet, I highly suggest that you do. They may be able to help you to prevent this ordeal entirely. Another option, although I still think that going to see a therapist is best, is to make use of online therapy. I'll leave a link in my description to a great online therapy site if you want to check them out. Thank you for watching. Please remember to subscribe to my channel and to like the video. And as always, keep seeking more.